Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this 2025 YouTube livestream with my predictions for this season. Oh, hello, everybody. Ah, oh, sound is still on. Okay, so I prepared a live stream. I'm going through the 10 teams where I expect them to finish at the end of the season, and then I'm going through 21 drivers who I think are going to be competing this season and where they're going to finish. I tried it in a more scientific way where I estimated their point tally, and I can't get my chat up here. Oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, I tried it in a more scientific way where I'm getting my information based on what happened last year and how many points all the teams have scored. And based on what the team score, I made a divide what I think the separate drivers will score. And afterwards, after doing the 10 teams and the estimated score, I obviously have a point tally. And based on that, I put them in the ranking where I think they're going to finish in the standings. So I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes to see if there's more people coming into the chat. Hello, Windmolenjongen. Welcome, welcome. And there's Gentilis. Welcome, bro. Hasn't been too bad of a week this week, has it? There's a new TD effective from Spain to attack the flexible wings. Something they could have done at the end of last season, and everybody would have started at the same level. But now people have invested in their flexible wings, and now they have to throw them out again in Spain. I heard that especially Red Bull was very angry about that. Hello, Hank. Welcome. Samantha's taking pictures of her cat. Now I have to post it on the community page. So, I think I'm just gonna. Oh no. Oh, that works. Oh. Okay. My chat is nice and big now, so I can follow everything. Except that it's a little bit quiet. Windmolenjongen says, what about the 3-day test at Montmelo where Hamilton managed 80 odd miles of driving to be replaced by Giovinazzi for the following 36 hours? Yeah, interesting. I think the real testing will happen in Bahrain for the official testing days. I don't know how much good driving the 2023 car and a non-upgraded 24 car does. Um, Hank says, "Yeah, I can imagine Red Bull wasn't pleased about the flexi wing decision. No, definitely not. And the smaller teams, especially, they suffer the most from it." Right, I'm gonna get started now. Oh wait, I'll move my TV so I'm not facing sideways too much. Yeah, yeah, that's better. Okay, let's start with the team standings. So here you see the teams and estimated points. I have to remind myself to go backwards to get to the team I think who is going to be in the number 10 spot. Surprise, surprise. It's a Zauber. And I estimate they will score 20 points. So, Zauber, they're still betting everything on 2026. They're working hard to get that engine running with Audi, trying to keep up. And I don't feel they want to invest too much time and effort into this season. They hired their German driver they wanted for the Audi team in Nico Hulkenberg, and they put in a rookie because that's their trend nowadays. I think there's 5 young rookies on the grid where there was none last year. So yeah, there's not much to be said about Sauber. It's going to be a very uninspiring year. Still, last season they scored 4 points, which were all scored by Joe and not by Bottas. Just shows what a great driver he is. And I think they'll do a little bit better because towards the end they yeah, they were a little bit more competitive, and those really slow pit stops, those days are over. So yeah, I'm expecting a little bit more from Sauber, but not enough to see them score higher than P10. Okay. Um, yes, Hank, I just explained that. I think they're going to do a little bit better, but maybe I'm too optimistic. They might only score 10 points or 5 points again. I don't know. Okay, let's go to the next team. And the next team in P9 is Alpine with 40 points. Yeah, I'll explain this. Alpine were terrible last season. And if it wasn't for the big point scoring in Brazil, they would have finished 9th or 8th. Now, the driver lineup has changed as well. I have faith in Gasly, but I don't have much faith in Doohan. And I expect Colapinto to come in after 5 races. But he's a rookie as well, and he's a bit crash happy. So he's not going to score the number of points that Ocon scored last season. And that's why I think, yeah, Alpine is going to score 40 points, which will put them in P9. Again, there's so much happening at Alpine as well. The high tech takeover, personnel changes. I think they're going to focus on. I think they're going to focus on the 2026 season as well, where they have Mercedes engines. So yeah, I don't see them pushing themselves too hard to get P7 or P8 on the standings list. They don't need the money as badly, and maybe they'll be happy with the wind tunnel time after. Gentili says, wait, last place with 20 points then? Yeah, well, I was feeling generous. I think if you add up all the points that I've divided, I'll probably come out too high. But I didn't do it that scientific. Okay. Hank says Alpine could be reasonable. Turn up the engines to the max the last 3 races. Yeah, it's the last time the Alpine or the Renault engines are going to be used. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. Like I said, it's just a bit of banter. Okay, the next team is Williams in P7. James Vowles, he talks a lot. And he says a lot of things. But he also said that 2025 is going to be a very hard year for them. And he's not expecting much of it. And he's overall a very positive person. So for him to say this, that means something. I still think Sainz and Albon are going to score an estimate of about 60 points. And that will give them P7. It's 2 places better than last season because in 2024 they finished P9. So, it's an improvement. And yeah, I think they deserve a bit of improvement before they can go all in for the next season. Okay. There's Daphne. Hello, Daphne. Blue is the new orange. Okay. And Gentili says, yeah, I think Williams will perform better with 2 experienced drivers. Yeah, I definitely think Sainz is going to score more points than the American fella, Sargent. He made such an impression, I almost forgot his name. Right. The next team is Racing Bulls in P6. Yeah, still very difficult to predict how they're gonna be. I've heard that they're gonna do a lot more buying from the Red Bull team. They're the main team, and all within the legal restrictions. So that should give them a little bit of a boost. Then Yuki is proven to be a decent midfield driver, and Hadjar is a feisty fella. So yeah, I'm expecting quite a bit from them, but nothing groundbreaking or anything. How many points? Yeah, I gave them 80 points, which is a good haul for them. I think the year that Max started, they scored about 55 points. So yeah, it's not unreasonable to think that they're a little bit better and they're gonna score 80 points. Yeah, and Hank says where Racing Bulls belong approximately. So I'm glad you agree, Hank. Now, guys, feel free to disagree, yeah, and just let me know, because we're all here for the banter, and I want to make this a fun chat, and I want to hear your opinions. If you think Alpine is gonna knock it out of the park and they're gonna finish 5th, then let me know. I'm interested in your opinion. Okay, the next team I have in P5. No, P6, sorry. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, yeah. It's Haas with 100 points. Gene Haas is going to be a very, very happy man. Yeah, ever since Gunther Steiner is gone, I think it's good that he's gone because he did a lot of swearing, and you can get a ban for swearing now. So um, the team has changed. They're getting bigger sponsors. They have a deal with Toyota. There's stuff happening there. Ayu Komatsu is good on the technical side, but also on the coaching side. And they're probably benefiting from Ferrari being better than the years before. But I think this will continue. And I think with their lineup, I'm expecting quite a bit from Ollie Behrman. And we know that Ocon can drive. So yeah, I I I totally see them finishing P6. So let me see what the chat says. Gentili says big improvement for Haas. Haha, Steiner would not have survived 2025. Hank says another jump for Haas. Maybe a bit optimistic. Yeah, well, that's just me. You know, I'm an optimistic kind of guy. Wait till you see my driver standings. Haha. It's going to be crazy. So, yeah, what else can I say about Haas? Nothing really. There's not much news. No, different driver lineup and continuing where they left off, which was pretty good. Okay. And now, in P5, no change. Aston Martin. Even with the arrival of Adrian Newey, they can't turn the tide yet to become a race-winning team. I personally think that, you know, Adrian Newey will come in there and he'll dive into the 2026 regulations. He's already a couple of months late, but they will bring problems to him, and you know, he'll help them out. You know, getting the car a little bit more balanced and a little bit more easy to drive, and Alonso will benefit from this. I can't, you know, I can't say much about Lance Stroll because yeah, he doesn't seem to be all that bothered. But yeah, that's gonna cost him valuable points. Still, 120 points is fairly decent for a P5. The teams after this, they're gonna be scoring way more points, same as this year. Hey, I see a new name. Hello, Karthik. Which team would be better in 2026, Aston or Mercedes? What I'm hearing is that the engines are going to be very important. Adrian Newey has said that it's going to be an engine regulation more than a aero regulation. And what we know from 2014 that Mercedes is very good at building engines, strong, reliable engines. So I think I give Mercedes the benefit of the doubt. So I think Mercedes is going to be stronger than Aston Martin in 2026. But you need to check out my 2026 predictions next year, if we're all still alive then. Hank says reasonable, I think. Probably a few pointers, but development money goes to the 2026 car. And Daphne says Andrew Newey, that's Adrian Newey's brother. No, I'm just kidding. Adrian Newey will be a help at 2026, not this year. Yeah, I think he will look at problems and then say, well, we fixed this with Red Bull. If you change the such and such a bit over to the such and such. Okay? And then the rest of the Aston Martin team working on the 2025 car will try to help the problem in that direction. Right? He's not going to spend all his time fixing the 2025 car because there's no point. He'll be doing the 2026 car. So I agree. Oh, there's another new face, Sean Onig. And he has a question. Don't you think Adrian Newey's on-track setup experience can make a more significant difference this season? That's a good one. So they arrive at a track. Adrian Newey is there, and Fernando Alonso complains about the car being too stiff, but it needed that stiff because it needs to be balanced and whatever. And then Adrian Newey comes with a solution that will help their setup. Yeah, I think you have a point that Adrian Newey will be on hand to help problems, but yeah, you still have Lance Stroll in the other car scoring a handful of points. You know, if you had two drivers like Alonso, then they would score a couple of 100 points. Because how many points did I give him now? 120, right? Yeah, I estimated 120 points. So, oh, there's another new name. I think I'm just gonna call you Yoko. Good day, Yoko. And there's Christina. Hello, Christina. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is how far I got. Sauber in P10, Alpine in P9, Williams in P8, Racing Bulls in P7, Haas in P6, and Aston Martin in P5. And now for P4, we're getting into the top 4. This is going to be exciting. I'm just going to build up the tension a little bit more. Boom. Mercedes. And they'll score 400 points. Yeah. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Yeah, what reasoning do I have to give them 400 points, but not any higher than P4? Well, they finished P4 this season. And I think they'll improve the car again a little bit. I think as for the driver lineup, it'd be very hard for Kimi Antonelli to beat Lewis Hamilton in the standings. But he'll do his best, and he'll have highlights and he'll have low points. But yeah, I'm expecting quite a bit from the duo. But yeah, the season is going to be the most competitive season in many, many years, with 4 teams fighting for wins. And the difference between the different teams is not going to be all that much. So yeah, Mercedes not scoring better than P4 with 400 points is a bit strange, but that's what I predicted, and you just have to accept it. Okay, I see everybody saying good evening to each other. Hank says, hard to see Adrian Newey giving advice on an unfamiliar car. Now, that's another good point. But then, aren't there sort of, like, here's a problem, Newey found a solution in that area, and then he'll point them towards that direction, Yeah, I think he can do it, but we'll see. Okay, let's go to the next team, because we're going into the top 3. And in third place, I have a change compared to last season, and the change is boom, McLaren. Oh my lord, what the hell is happening here? Okay, I've said this so many times. I'm gonna look so stupid when this doesn't happen, but I think McLaren are gonna run into a plateau. They're gonna aggressively develop and then find out that they went too far, which will set them back months. Something that happened to Ferrari, something that happened to Red Bull. And I think this time it's McLaren's turn, because they haven't had it yet. This new TD, they were pushing for it, so they might have something up their sleeve, but there's nothing to say that this will actually work for McLaren. So I have them in P3 with 500 points, which is a lot, but 24 races, 6 sprint races, you know, there's a lot of points up for grab. Let me see what the chat says. Gentile says, "Good point, Hank." Yeah, Hank, good point. Hank says, "Floors are different in between teams. It isn't a spec series." I've said what I said. Okay. Daphne says, "That's a surprise." And Mercedes. Yeah. Karthik says, "Consider 2021 Abu Dhabi, but roles are reversed. Hamilton pits in P2 while Max leads, and race control makes an absurd decision completely out of the driver, and Hamilton would won the championship. Would he have got the same level of hatred as Max is still getting?" Um, that's a bit of a curveball. Yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say about Abu Dhabi 2021. I'm doing predictions for the 2025 season, and maybe if something pops up, a new story about 2021 where all the teams get involved again, then it'll become a topic for me again. But at this time, I just want to focus on 2025 and 2026. The book is closed. Okay. Windmolenjongen says, "One thing I took away from Newey's book and other opinion pieces is that he's not the humble old chap with a notebook. I hold there's a professional arrogance there that tried it on with zero side pods." Zero side pods. That's Mercedes. But yeah, I've heard as well that Adrian Newey warned Red Bull about certain balance problems in 2023, but they continued in a direction he didn't want to anyway. So that's probably why he left as well. But here, we're still at McLaren here. Is nobody surprised that they dropped from constructor winners to P3? No? I just think it's going to be because they overdevelop the car or they get struggles. And then Ferrari and Red Bull, they're going to be on top of things more. So that brings me to the next one. In P2, I have Red Bull. I think Red Bull is going to be on top of their game again, which is great for Max Verstappen. Liam Lawson is just new in that team. He's only done, I don't know, 12 races in Formula 1. So he needs to get used to things. He'll score a few podiums and he'll be in the top 5 consistently. But, he's going to be a little bit better than Checo. But still, he's going to drop points. And that's why Red Bull is not going to win the Constructors. Because if everybody paid attention, they know who's going to win. The Constructors. Right? So let's just pop it up as well then. Since it's not a surprise anymore. Here we go. Ferrari. I wonder if I can make this smaller. And then move it here. Yeah, that works. So here we go, people. Here's the standings, in my opinion. Mind you, I'm doing all this before testing, so it's all. Yeah. Yeah, I expect the Ferrari to beat Red Bull by 25 points, and basically just because I expect more from the second driver Hamilton than the second driver for Red Bull, Liam Lawson. And that's going to make the difference in the Constructors' Championship, just like it did last season. It'd be nice for Ferrari to win something, you know? And we don't know. We don't know the driver standings yet, so that's going to be exciting. Right, I'm going to do a little bit more of the chat. Hank says, I actually do expect McLaren and Ferrari to drop back a little. Ferrari as well? Okay. Christina says, good one, Wimbo. I also think McLaren will hit a development top. It happened to every other team, so if McLaren experiences some bouncing during the season, I won't be surprised. Exactly my thoughts. Hank says, the Mercedes sidepod wings were used by McLaren last season. Okay, didn't know that. Okay, that's still Abu Dhabi. Christina says, as a Ferrari fan for more than 20 years, I don't trust their ability to build WCC winning car anymore. Well, it has to happen at some point. You know, if McLaren can do it, then Ferrari can do it as well. Kartik says, are there chances of Max leaving Red Bull for Aston when Ford is joining WEC? Well, Murray Walker, the the F1 presenter from years back, he said, anything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does. So, it could happen, but I always follow what Max says. And at this moment, it's not a topic. Whether, Max is leaving or not. And I'll just stick with that, if he says that it's his intention to stay there till 2028 season, then that's what I'm going to stick on to. I'm going to stick with that. Okay. Hank says Ford is joining WEC in 2027, while Verstappen's contract runs until 2028. I highly doubt if he will leave before his contract ends. Well, that's another angle. It was actually Law VS that pointed this out in one of his latest videos. That the whole WEC Ford going to WEC thing might be an incentive for Max to stay with Red Bull, and it all remains to be seen. Sean says, I think it's tricky. Red Bull second driver bringing in enough points for Red Bull to pit McLaren. Yeah, it's all about the second drivers, isn't it? Max will score the points. RB may well be fourth, mate. Okay, I hope you're not right. Hank, for sure, it's off topic. Banter goes off topic. It's mandatory. Yes, guys, just work away. And if you hear something interesting, then tune in to me again. I don't mind. Okay. Let's go to the driver standings. I hope I don't give this away. Yes. Got the right one. Guys, shall I make this one small as well? I quite like not having to click around. Just let me know if it's readable. Right. Now I have to go this way. In P21 is Jack Doohan. Like I said, he's going to get 5 races. And he's not going to score any points in those 5 races. And that will give Mattia Binotto the valid reason to kick him out for Colapinto. Helaas pindakaas, as we say in Holland, which means, unfortunately, peanut butter. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's hard to argue this. Okay, it looks good this way. Thanks, Hank. Oh, wrong direction. My next one is in P20. I have Gabriel Bortoleto. I googled his name just to be sure, and I think he's going to score 4 points, just like Joe. And that means that if Bortoleto scores 4 points, and I estimated that Stake F1 team is going to score 20 points, the other 16 points are for Hulkenberg. Hello. Sorry, it was Trixie. See, it's a Max Verstappen glass. See? Okay, where was I? Bortoleto. Yes. And in P19. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction again. I have Franco Colapinto. That Alpine driver is going to score 15 points in the remaining 19 races that he gets to drive. Not bad. Not bad for a rookie. Like I said, I don't expect much from the Alpine car. So, my glass is almost empty, Richard. Trixie, everybody says hello. Yeah. Oh, we have 3 cats. This one is the oldest one. Okay. That's off topic as well. In P18, we have Nico Hulkenberg with 16 points. And he'll probably manage to do those in sprint races because he's a very good qualifier. And there will be races that he will start, within the top 8 and then not give up that position anymore. So, yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Not a very glorious season for him, but yeah, everybody's hoping that that team will be better when it's in the Audi, when it's the Audi team in 2026. But yeah, that's gonna be a hard one as well, because there's worries about the Audi engine, but we'll talk about that in 2026. Okay, and the next driver is Pierre Gasly. I just realized that it's pink, green, pink, green, pink. Yeah, I don't expect much of Alpine. 25 points. He'll have to fight very hard to get those points. There will be streaks of 8-9 races without any points for Pierre Gasly. Finishing P12, P13, P14, P11. But at some point, things will go his way, and then he'll score 25 points, which will bring him out on P17. And then the next driver I have is Alex Albon. Yeah, struggling Williams team. Still expect Albon to score 28 points. And right, everybody's talking about cats now. Haha, Zoom rules is always show the cat during a call. Not sure what it is for a live stream though. Yeah, Samantha, she just stopped meowing. She's comfy. I'm gonna leave her there, yeah? Hank says Sauber was neglected big time. It has a long way to catch up. Yes, and those 2 drivers, even though they could be really good, they're gonna suffer. So that's why I think 20 points and 16 points for Hulkenberg is it's pretty generous. But anyway, I was talking about Alex Albon. Alex Albon needs to step up because he doesn't have, an American rookie or um, an Argentinian rookie to fight. He's got a race winner beside him now, and it's going to be a major test for him. And even though it's Albon's team that he's settled in there, I think Carlos Sainz will beat him. But we'll see how many points. It's quite specific as well, to for me to say that he will score 28 points. But yeah, that's just what my instinct told me. Alex Albon is going to score 28 points. Okay, and the next driver on the list is Isack Hadjar in P15. I think he's going to score 30 points. And that's going to be a decent rookie season. He's going to have a few crashes. He's going to, do everything wrong that every rookie does wrong. It's completely normal. But it'll be good enough for him to see himself go through to the next season. And 30 points in a Racing Bull that's going to be finishing P6. I don't think it's bad. It's a pretty decent rookie season. So how many rookies have we got now? From the 5 rookies, we already have 3 settled here. Vin Molejonge says, in kind of related banter, anyone else think Gasly has reinvented himself as that 1998 Zinedine Zidane? That's his favorite football player. Pierre Gasly drives with the number 10 because he loves Zinedine Zidane. But I think you're referring to his very short hair. I've heard rumors that that Gasly went to a clinic to get hairs implanted. He probably doesn't like getting bald. Like, I don't see the problem, But Sean says Stroll is also a rookie. Right. He drives like a rookie. Okay, who have we got in P14? In P14, we have the other Williams driver, Carlito Sainz, with 32 points. See, this is how I got 60 points for Williams. 28 for Albon and 32 for Sainz. Write that down. It's going to be 100% correct. Yeah, so he's going to beat Albon, but not by much, And knowing Sainz, he will be very unfortunate at some point as well, Like, I don't know. Yeah, there's only one new upgraded wing, and he'll crash it, and he has to drive with the old wing. That sort of stuff. That always happens to Carlos Sainz. Keith Williams. Hello, Keith. Sainz will beat Albon. Top level driver. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Hank says Stroll's teammate is a rookie. Yeah, remember that about 4 years ago that he became Rookie of the Year? Fernando Alonso. That was ridiculous. Okay, in P13, speak of the devil, we have Lance Stroll. He will score 40 points out of 120 for the team, as I predicted earlier. Yeah, he's not bothered, and I think it's going to be his last year in Formula One. Don't know what he's going to do after that. Maybe he spent his daddy's money or something. And there's Peter Mardan Anders. I hope everyone is wrong about Jack Doohan. I read an article today that he said he's not going to go willingly, So he's gonna fight hard for that position. Don't know what that means, because I think every driver fights hard for their position. But yeah, we'll see. I've been surprised before. So yeah, let's get past Lance Stroll here. And we have another rookie, Oliver Bearman, driving for Haas. I expected Haas to score 100 points, and 40 of those points will be for Ollie Behrman. Yeah, he got a little experience last season. I just noticed that I gave Stroll and Behrman both 40 points. But like I said, it's estimated, so let's give Behrman 41 points then, for the sake of the argument. I think Behrman is going to do a little bit better than Lance Stroll. But yeah, he got some experience last season, and I still like him. I like Ollie Behrman like I liked George Russell at Williams. Yeah. So I hope that's a warning for him, because, as you know, things can change. I don't like George Russell much anymore now, but that can change as well. Yeah. I might like him again next season. So okay. Anything to say about Ollie Behrman and Haas? No. Yuki Tsunoda. Why does it say 30 points? Let me see. I have it in the big book. I thought I really paid attention this time to not do it wrong. 50. Okay, see that 30? That should be 50. Yes, Trixie. Hey. Yeah? Yeah, come and sit in this chair. Okay. So, yeah, I think he's going to score 50 points. He will beat his teammate Hadjar. And those 50 points are enough to convince Aston Martin to get him in, pushed by Honda. And he's going to drive for Aston Martin in 2026. Okay. And the next one is... Hey. Oh, yeah. We're going to start from the bottom again. Esty Bestie in P10 with 60 points. So that's how I got to 100 points for Haas, 40 for Behrman, and 60 for Esteban Ocon. Let me see if the chat has anything to say. Windmolenjongen is talking about Theo Pourchaire. He enters the chat yet again. Let's hope he enters the chat, because he is a Formula 2 champion, which means nothing these days. And Windmolenjongen says Behrman is not that guy, mate. Okay. I think he's okay. Hank says Behrman carried himself well last season. This, however, creates expectations. I hope he can cope with those. And Windmolenjongen says he's not that guy. Okay. Samantha is talking about the cat. Yes, I can ignore all that. Boom. Fernando Alonso. Oldest man on the grid. And he's going to score 60. That's also not right. That should be 80. Oh, God. Oh, no. How many did I give Stroll? Yeah, it should be 80. So, Fernando Alonso, 80 points. But does the whole list make sense now? Yeah, it still makes sense. Yeah, he's going to wring that Aston Martin's neck and get the most out of it. But it's not going to be much, and he's going to be very, very disappointed sometimes of some races, you know? Peter says, have you kept into account that all points can be given or are given for the whole season? No, I said that earlier on the stream, but you weren't here yet. That if you add up all the points, I I might have been a little bit too enthusiastic about giving all the drivers all the points. But then again, it says here estimated points. Yes? So whatever number I'm too high, take them off the drivers you want, and then you'll get your own conclusions. Hank says Alonso forever young. Well, what age is he now? 44, 43, 44. That's not old. I'm 47. I could still drive an F1 car. Badly. Alonso will drag that car around all tracks as fast as possible. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Okay, and then in P8 we have Kimi Andrea Antonelli. Antonelli. Yeah, I'm practicing my Italian because I'm going on holiday to Italy, and we happen to be close to the Ferrari museum. It was actually Wim Molejonge that gave me the advice to go to Modena. So I'll let you know how it was, Vic. Thanks. But I think he's going to score 150 points. Not bad for a rookie. He's in a Mercedes, and it's not going to be the best car, but it's still going to be a very good car. And I think there will be races where he annoyingly will beat Russell, which I'm gonna love. So yeah, I'm hoping for a little bit of fireworks between Antonelli and Russell. You know, I'm a bit of a shit stirrer. As long as it's not Red Bull. Okay. And in P7, this is gonna shock people. Oh no, this is not gonna. The best rookie of the season, even though he's already had 12 races. Liam Lawson with 175 points. Yeah, him not scoring 200 or 225 points will cost Red Bull the constructors. But, P2 is better than P3, and he will outscore Perez. So, yeah. Hank says a rookie in the fourth car scoring 150 points is quite a lot. Yeah, it is. But Mercedes was fourth last season with rounding about 400 points. And that was with Lewis Hamilton in the car. So, I think they could do it. Okay, so Liam Lawson. Yeah. What else is there to say? There's a lot resting on him. A lot of pressure. You know how the British media is always very critical towards second drivers for Red Bull. If he doesn't go well for a while, they're the first ones to keep writing stories about kicking Liam Lawson out. And then once they do it, they'll say, oh my God, I can't believe that Red Bull kicked another driver out. And then in P6, Oscar Piastri with 225 points. Yeah, he's going to suffer the most from the McLaren setback that I'm predicting. And Norris has always been faster. So he really needs to step up and then cope with the problems, or else he's going to finish P6, and that's what I'm expecting. I don't think he's going to win a race either. So it's pretty shocking because I know Oscar Piastri is very loved, and I love him too. But yeah, this is what my vibes told me. And yeah, I have to go by the vibes because we haven't seen any testing yet. In P5, in a Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton, also 225 points. But for the sake of the argument, let's give him 226 points. A little bit more than Oscar Piastri. Yeah, the highly anticipated move from Mercedes to Ferrari is going to gain him one position in the standings. And he's going to get beaten by Leclerc 75% of the time in races and 80% of the time in qualifying. So let me see what the chat says. Daphne says, you're quite positive about the rookies. Yes, I'm a positive person, you know? I hope they all do well. And Hank says, Lawson scoring that low is costing him his seat halfway through. 175 points? Okay. Let's see what happens. Daphne says, I see Piastri to be a better driver than Lando. Okay, well, that would be quite something. If Piastri starts beating Lando, I'd love to see that, just for the vibes. But, yeah, in my prediction, Piastri gets beaten by Norris. And Hank says, Piastri is past his second season. I do expect more from him, says Hank. Okay. Yeah, well, agree to disagree. This is my prediction. And Windmo Leong says, Hamilton will be P3, mate. You don't have to say mate every time. It's a little patronizing, I'm the one in charge here. Don't you know this by now? No. It's all right, mate. Peter says, off topic, but do you agree with Arie Luyendyk about F1 stewarding, etc.? I think he said that on a podcast with Olaf Mol. Yeah, I didn't see it. But Arie Luyendyk is a pretty knowledgeable guy about car racing, so I think whatever he says, he's right. Christina, Wimbo, do not come near any Ferrari social media after this. Well, it's more Team LH social media after this. But I don't think it's too bad, in a new team for Lewis Hamilton, in a different country, in a different language, driving a new car. And I know all the news at the minute is all positive for Lewis Hamilton, but that's going to change after 5 races. The whole media, especially the British media, is full of hopium to see Lewis Hamilton shine. And, the race made an article saying that the problems that Mercedes had highlighted Lewis Hamilton's biggest flaws, but the Ferrari engine or the Ferrari car is going to be excellent for the way Lewis Hamilton drives. And the feedback, Lewis Hamilton has given the team feedback, and they've already implemented changes just for the sake of Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, I tweeted the other day that there's no excuses for Lewis Hamilton because everything's going so perfectly now. And then he crashed. Ferrari still car porn. I don't know what that means. Okay. Let's go into the top 4. In 4, we have George Russell with 250 points. Yeah, decent haul of points. He's going to be the team leader. He'll not have to deal with Lewis Hamilton anymore. I think he'll like that role, as being the leader of the team and the main man. I hope for his sake that Verstappen doesn't fancy going to Mercedes, because then he's out. Because no way Toto Wolff is going to kick out young Kimi Antonelli. Right. If you have anything to say about Russell, I'll hear it in a minute. The top 3. Lando Norris with 275 points. He's only gonna win 2 races or something, and then a bunch of podiums. Ooh, hard one. Going from a title fight to P3. Yeah. Daphne says, and next is Verstappen. Not clear of 3 and 2. Too late. If you know me a little bit, you know I don't have Max in P3. Peter says, I don't think Russell can cope with the expectations. Let's see. You know, he's good at talking, especially at the stewards. Okay. Right. I'll not. Do you guys want to know it now? Do you want to know now who's in P2 and who's going to win the championship? Oh, before I do it, I can give away free memberships. Boom. Here's 5. And boom, here's another 5. I hope there's some familiar names in there. Don't know that one. Don't know that one. Don't know that one. No. Don't know any of them. Let's do a poll. Who do I have in B1? Charles. Other. I didn't see your name, Samantha. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes, Gypsy. Right. I'm not going to leave any more. Okay. Who voted on other? There's only 2 names left. Oh. Okay. I'm going to. Wait. I'm going to reveal it now. Drum roll. Boom! Charles Leclerc will score 400 points, a bunch of wins, a load of pole positions, but he won't be able to beat Max Emilian Verstappen. Here we go. Max, Super Max. Yeah, Mohammed Ben Sulayem in P1. That's what he wants. Mohammed Ben Sulayem wants to be in. He wants to win the tournament. Peter voted for Trixie. She loves it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right, so what do you guys think? Does it make sense? Yes. Come here. I think it does. I think this is I think I spoiled the whole season. You know? It definitely Hank, it definitely is a close fight, and it's gonna be decided not 2 races before the end, but um in the last race or just before the last race. Right. It's just past 9 o'clock. Max versus Chuck. I like it, says Richard. Yeah, I like it too. Rightio, people. Has anybody got any questions or any topics they'd like to discuss? Kind of related. And if not, then yeah, I'll say my farewells. This week, for the people that don't know, Samantha and I own a flower business, and it's going to be Valentine very soon. And you might not know this, but the Valentine is on the 14th. But the production of these hand ties that starts 10 days earlier. So I'm going to be very busy in the coming week. So I won't have time to make proper videos, but I'll recut this live stream into 2 videos, one for the drivers and one for the teams, and that will give me some content which I don't have to write and record, just edit. Yeah, and then after next weekend, then I'll have plenty of time again because it's going to be very quiet for the next 5-6 weeks after that. Yeah. Sean says it makes sense assuming the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari is significant enough. Definitely. Yeah, they're talking about free memberships. Right, talking about memberships, you can always, if you didn't win any free memberships, you can always choose to pay $2.99 a month and to become a member. You'll get exclusive content. I uploaded a video in the past week about behind the scenes, and yeah, I have a special mission I'm on, which I'm vlogging about, which I'm going to start very soon as well. Now, if there's no more questions, then everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining this lovely live stream, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care now. Doei doei.